Hi again. I'm Lori and Sasha's behind the camera today, and we are going to can chicken. Right now, about the best deal you can get on chicken, we're doing boneless, skinless, is $1.99. So whenever I cook chicken at any time, I always take it and rinse it. So that's what I'm going to do first, and then we're going to chop it up, and we'll be right back. I have the chicken in the water, and I'm just rinsing it off and pulling off. I just hand pull, because that's how I do it when I cook it. And I'm just pulling these layers of fat off so you don't have so much fat in your chicken to begin with. You can cut it off. Some people leave it on. It's just a personal preference of things. You could probably cut it off when you're chopping your chicken up. I think it's just as easy to do it this way. Okay, here we have the chicken cubed, and it's in basically the same size. You're going to have smaller pieces, but about kebab size. Throw this one more piece here. Just slice it up, kebab it. Just squared. I'm just going to put it in there. We weighed our chicken, and we had 3 packs, and we have 5.5 pounds.
I think so, yeah.
Of chicken, and we had a 1/4 pound of waste. I trim it pretty good. I don't want to waste anything. If you're doing it to save money, there's no sense in, you might as well trim it up good. So there is some fat left on, you know, fat's where the flavor is. But you don't want too much. You don't want it to spoil what you've done. So we are going to get our jars out and start packing it. And each jar holds about 1 pound. It's really close.
We even measured it to make sure.
Yeah, we weighed ours just to make sure it was all about the same.
Just to check, though. You don't have to.
Right. I can't reiterate enough. Wash, wash, wash. Wash your hands in between. Wash your utensils. You don't want to spread anything. You want to take something and run around the rim just like you do in any canning thing to get the air bubbles out. You don't want the pressure to bust your jars. There's all kinds of little air pockets in here. Use a rubber spatula, use a plastic knife, whatever you got in hand. Don't use anything metal. They make a special tool for it, but you don't really have to have a special tool.
And we're cheap.
Yeah, and we just want to use what we have on hand. There's no sense in wasting money on something if you have a tool that will work just as well. And you can see as you push this down in there, you're moving the chicken around to get the air bubbles out. And you're still going to have some spaces, but if you see a big one, just go ahead and redo it. Make sure you do it to all of them. Okay, we found our measuring spoon that we were missing. That's why you want to get all your utensils out, and we just happened to forget it. We couldn't find the 1 teaspoon, so we opted for ½ one. So you're going to do a little less than 1 teaspoon. Measure it out, just pour it on top. It'll cook down in it when it cooks, and we're raw packing. You can tell, but just thought we'd say it. And we are going to take the lids out and get these sealed, ready to go. As soon as I wipe the lids off. This chicken's sticky. I'm going to use something damp, which it's best to use. Most stuff you can is going to be sticky or ooey or gooey, and we just want to make sure it's all. I don't want any cross-contaminating, so I'm going to fold this each time. Plus, with the salt, you might have spilled 1 little grain of salt on the top of it, and that will keep it from sealing. And we want to get the best results we can. Okay, now we have all of them cleaned off. These have been sitting in hot water for a few minutes so that the ring is soft.
The rubber seal
Yeah,
part.
the rubber seal. Missing some rings. There they are. I need one more. Gonna put one more in there. Somehow we miscounted. And while we're putting the bands on them, we'll let that rubber ring get soft. Just a hand tight. You don't need to handle them or be rough. Just a nice.
Because you're going to take them off in the end anyway.
Right. You want to be able to get them off after the pressure has cooked them on there a bit. And your rings, they're going to get looking like this after you use them over and over and over. If they don't get dried completely, just wash them up, make sure they're clean. While that is still getting soft, I'm going to go ahead and place these in our pressure canner.
Ooh. Good dog.
We've got approximately 2 inches of water in the bottom of it. It's hot. But you don't want it too hot that you can't stick your finger in it. That will be too much of a shock between the glass and the water. And when you're pressure canning, doesn't matter if the jars touch each other. We're going to go buy some more chicken since it's so cheap right now. We could have gotten 2 more jars, maybe 3 more in here. We have 1 more. You don't have to add any liquid. The chicken's going to make its own liquid. You have your own chicken broth. So we have that. And you can see that it's not too much on there. You're just trying to create a pressure. The pressure canner we have has a valve on it. Has a gauge. Okay, I've done this before, but whenever you're, using a camera, of course you're not going to be able to do it. We had our other big container up there for hot water. I'm going to turn this on high. We're not going to put the weight on yet. You're going to wait till this starts steaming here. You'll see steam come out. Set your timer for 10 minutes. And we'll be right back when that gets going. Okay, we're getting ready to put our weight on. Our 10 minutes is just about up. You will cap this off. Be careful and don't get burnt. You can put a glove on if you want. It just depends on how you want to do it. You want to turn this down. You're going to get 10 pounds of pressure quick. So about medium. Flip that baby on there. You'll notice it creeps up pretty quick. It doesn't take very long for it to get to 10 pounds. When it gets to 10 pounds of pressure, you're going to want to cook it 1 hour and 15 minutes for pints. For quarts, you want to do 1.5 hours. The more meat, a little bit longer it's going to take. So when this reaches 10 pounds of pressure, we will set our timer for 1 hour and 15 minutes, and we will see you when we have our finished product. Okay, our timers went off, and our pressure gauge is back to 0. I lost my partner for a little bit. She went to work, so that's why the video is away from it. You can take your weight off now. Okay, I took the lid off, and we are going to finish taking our jars out. You can hear, I already got one to ping. If you look real carefully, you can still see it's still bubbling away. Let them cool in a place away from a draft. Make sure that they've all sealed, and they'll ping, and the little knob on the top, it'll sink down in like this one. This one's already pinged. This one has not. You can see how it's up a little. When you go to use them, you want to make sure that when you put them in a casserole, of course they're going to reheat. But if you're going to do it for chicken salad or something like that, you just want to put them in a pot and just boil them for 10 minutes to make sure, to be on the safe side, to kill any if there is anything left in there, if there's any germs of any kind, and then you can just use it in your favorite recipes or however you want to do it. Thank you for watching, and have fun canning.